Hi everybody and welcome back. So today we've got an RTA to look at. If you know me at all, you know that I love RTAs, so I'm really excited about this. This is actually the Blotto RTA by Dovpo and Vaping Bogan. Blotto is supposed to mean like drunk, I guess, where Sam is from. So in Australia, that's what they usually say. It's like a terminology that they use. So no wonder that he went and named it Blotto. So I really like the name. I think that it's kind of unique, very nice looking. If you notice, it kind of looks really chubby, and I love that look about it. If you know me at all with RTAs, I'm an RTA lover, and I love it when it's got a big juice capacity as this does, and it looks absolutely stunning. Let's go ahead and go down. We're going to talk about it more. I'm going to show you the ins and outs of the RTA. We'll put a build in it. I only received one, so I'm actually going to show you pictures of the single coil build that I did, in addition to the regular dual coil build that we're going to do. And then we'll bring it back on top. We're going to talk about it, pros and cons, and all that other good stuff. So let's go ahead and look at the Blotto RTA by Vaping Bogan and Dovpo. Okay, so here we are with the Blotto RTA. This is the packaging that it comes in. This is a collaboration between Vaping Bogan and Dovpo, and that's what it looks like on the back. You're going to get some specifications right here and your scratch off authenticity. Inside the box, you're going to get the QC approved card, so it shows that it passed quality. So that's from Dovpo. Then you're going to get this very easy user manual. It's literally, that's as big as it is. There's nothing more. It's got pictures and everything else for you. It's going to tell you about the Blotto, and then of course what's included in your contents. The only thing that I cannot find is any type of specifications such as dimensions and things like that, but that's about it for that one. Then inside, you're going to get this nice little goodie bag. In here, you're going to get some extra flathead screws. You're also going to be getting your tri-tool and some O-rings and gaskets. And then you're going to get this little tool. This little tool can be either a bottle opener using this piece here, or a little coil cutting tool right here. But for cutting my coils, I probably would not reach for this. Number one, I'll probably just have it aside and only use it for this particular RTA. So I don't see very much use of this, but I love the fact that we have a piece of Bogan with us. And then you're going to get two glass pieces. One is going to be made of Ultim, and the other one is going to be made of glass. With the bubble tanks, it's going to hold 6 mils of e-liquid. With the straight glass that comes on the RTA, it's only going to hold 2 mils. So this is what it actually comes as with the straight glass. Again, 2 mils of e-liquid capacity. You do have a nice 810 drip tip. I absolutely love this metal ring that they put around the drip tip. I think that it just gives it really a nice look to it. With the gunmetal and the black, you're going to get the Ultim type of top, but with the stainless steel, you will have the stainless steel with the clear. Now, I was only provided one RTA for this review, so I can't do 2 builds for you or show you 2 builds, but I have actually built it in a single coil, so I'm going to show some pictures when we get to that part. But unfortunately, with only having one RTA, use it, clean it out, do another build, clean it out, and then do the review. So it makes it a little bit more difficult for me because I only have the one, but I did want to show you that single coil build as well. Now on the top, it is a top fill, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is one of those difficult parts for me. This chimney works as a release for your build deck as well as a release for your top fill. Being that it's the, I don't even know why, it's when you go to turn the top fill, you literally unscrew the base. So in order to undo the top fill, I have to take it apart like this, and then once it's lubed up, it's not so much of a problem once you have a build in it and stuff. I did lube it up after I cleaned it out, and it's still doing the same thing. And I don't know if it's only on the gunmetal because I only have one, but I did want to mention it. This is the point when you take out the deck where you want to change your glass. The only problem is that this glass does not sit into place. So this, like, literally, it doesn't matter if you take off the deck, it's going to come off. And that's the same way with even the bubble glass. There's not enough lip here to actually hold your glass into place. So it's literally free form. So when you go to take out your deck, you will have that issue. So I do want to warn you about that, because you know on my channel, I'm going to tell you everything that I like and everything I don't like. And for those of you that know that I love RTAs and RTAs are my thing, and I'm the RTA girl, this to me is a no-go. I don't understand why it wasn't made with either a deeper O-ring or a lip that would actually hold that glass into place, but I do have to mention it. Now again, with the top fill, it's just a quarter turn. You're going to take it off. It does have that nice gasket right there, and then of course your fill holes are right here. And it's only a quarter turn. Really, really nice. Again, once it's all put together, pretty much it's okay. You do want to be careful. If you see that the whole chimney or the skull is moving as you're opening it, you want to be really, really careful. Otherwise, the whole thing's going to come apart and you will lose juice. So I do want to let you know about that. Now, of course, as always, I'm going to be putting the bubble glass, so I might as well put that aside there. Then, of course, you've got your bottom piece or your deck. Now, on the bottom, there is dual airflow. Whatever happens to one side does happen to the other. I love honeycomb airflow, and these are really, really tiny little honeycomb airflows, so I really like that. Now, the design on both the top and the bottom of the knurling is actually similar to that of a bottle cap, which he did on purpose, and I do like the fact that Bogan did go ahead and design that piece as well as this piece. I think that was really, really great of him because it gives you something different. Everything's pretty much looking the same nowadays. It's hard to tell the difference. In this case, I really like the bottle cap look to it. On the bottom, you do have a protruding 510, so it is safe on any hybrid. I don't use RTAs on a Mac, but not because you can't. It's just, that's just me. It does say Blotto RTA here. It's got Vaping Bogan signature right there, and of course the logo, and then Dovpo right there, or Dovpo, however you want to say it. And then you've got the specialty of the game. This is the deck. Now this I do absolutely love. I have to tell you, I love a honeycomb airflow system, and the way that they've made this with 242 degrees of open airflow where it's going to hit your coils and no matter what direction that you have, I absolutely love that. You've got the slits on the bottom of your coil, and then you've got the honeycomb that's wrapping your coil. So it's coming from all different angles. Absolutely wonderful. Another thing that they did do that I'm really a fan of is these post screws are actually face down. They're not sideways. Love the fact that you can actually go ahead and tighten it down and you're at a downward angle. I absolutely love that. I love building, and this is just like a heavenly deck for me. It does have your wicking channels right there. Really, really nice and generous. They are pretty big. In this case, being that it does have like this floating type of deck situation going on, you will want to make sure that there is no gapping in your wicking. In this case, not like others, we are not going to be thinning out our wicks. So I know that a lot of you watch me on certain RTAs, you want to thick them out and thin them out. The other ones you want to leave a little bit thicker. This one's going to be one of those that you're going to leave a lot more cotton in it just so that it doesn't come out. If you have any spacing within this wicking channel, then you will have leaking, and we don't want that. So love this this floating build deck. I really do like that because I feel like it wicks really, really generously and very easily, and that to me is just a plus on an RTA. So without further ado, let's go ahead and put this on a mod and start building on it. Okay, so as I mentioned, it does come with this little device here that you can actually use to cut your coils. If you want to do that, all you're going to do is, I'm going to show you this real quick. You're going to put your coil leg in, one on the back, one on the front, and you're just going to fit your coil like this, and then you're going to clip it right at the top right here. I personally, it's just not for me. I much prefer my coily tool. I've been using this for, oh my God, I want to say it's been almost a year now that I've been using this tool, and I just like it a lot better. So with this coily tool, you can do like a 4 and a 4.5 leg length. I absolutely love the 4 millimeter leg length, so I'm actually going to cut it at 4 millimeters, and I'm just going to get my cutters, and it's that easy. I absolutely love this coily tool. And you just clip it like this and clip it like this. And then you've actually gone ahead and your coil legs are trimmed. Now, the coily tool and the coils that I'm using are both available at coilclout.com. Right now until Saturday, you can get 20% off using my code Wendy. After Saturday, it'll go back to 10%, but until then, you can get anything on the website from coilclout.com for 20% off, and they do take credit cards and everything else. So absolutely love that. So let's go ahead and cut the lead for the second coil. Again, 4 millimeters right there. And I use this coily tool all the time. So, hello. So much easier. Just go ahead and do that. Get those over there. And my coils are done. Look at that. Got that all squared away and ready to go. All right, so here we are with the build deck. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and loosen up those post screws. And again, these are flathead post screws. So for those of you that love flatheads, this is your thing. Personally, I like Phillips heads, but I think I'm like the minority because most always tell me that they like the flatheads better. So it doesn't bother me either way as long as I'm building. That's all I care about. Building to me is life. So we're going to go ahead and put these in. So I'm just going to grab my other screwdriver and we're going to go ahead and put it on this side. We're going to do that. So I'm just going to push it in and screw it down and push it in and screw it down. And then we'll go ahead and straighten it out. So got that in there. And then we're just going to go ahead and straighten it out and bring it up. Because we want it to be right under here. Can you see that? Right under there. And we want to leave room for the other one. So let me just straighten that out just a little bit more because my OCD is like killing me. One leg on one side, one leg on the other side. Get those in. There we go. Push that down because we want them all the way in. And then just screw that in. And get that in nice and tight. And then screw in the other one. Okay, so those are in. Now I can maneuver this coil as well. Just going to push that one over here. Over here. Bring this leg out just a little bit. There we go. Okay, all we need to do now is just maneuver these around, get them in place. Let's scoot this one back just a little bit and scoot this one over here a little bit. Right, and this one's still a little bit up. Now they look just like that. You want them to fit right underneath these ledges here. Very nice. These are 3mm inner diameters. If you have 2.5mm, it's going to fit a little bit better and a little bit lower because of the fact that they're smaller diameter. I personally like 3mm diameters, but that's what it looks like with the dual coil. With the single coil, it's actually going to look like this. This is a build I did with the single coil, and it's a 4mm coil, inner diameter, fused Clapton. So that's what it looks like with a 4mm single coil. So let's go ahead and start dry firing the dual coil, and then we'll go ahead and wick her up. And we'll start firing them. As I always recommend, whenever you're firing your coils, always have a pair of ceramic tweezers around. You never want to scrape metal with it. Number one, if they're intricate coils, you're going to damage the Clapton wrap on the outside. So I never suggest any type of metal, and then you can lightly strum them when you have ceramic tweezers, or you can even pinch it. You can pinch them while firing, or you can do it in between firing. Those little lightning bolt things, those are actually called hot spots. So you definitely want to make sure that all of your hot spots are out and that it's actually firing from the inside out and firing evenly. So we're almost done here. I'm just going to pinch it just a little bit more. You can pinch them, you can pull them apart. Sometimes that helps too. Pull them apart lightly, make them just a hair spaced, and sometimes that'll heat them up faster as well. There's different ways that you can do it. See how it's heating up a lot better now? And now I pinch it a little bit more. There goes one hot spot. It's almost gone. And there we go. Fully heated up. So let's go ahead and grab some cotton and we'll wick this baby up. Okay, so for today's cotton, I'm going to be using some of this Firebolt cotton from Vapefly. I absolutely love these. These are the ones that do have like the little anglets on them. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one. And they do come just like this. And then you can also get some in the pack that are just plain that you can actually pull apart without the little anglets on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in my coil. I'm going to bring it down just about right there. A little bit longer because I do want it a little bit long so it's going to fit in that. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it right here because I do want it to come down just like about there. And then I'm going to do the other side as well. And the great thing about this Firebolt cotton is I can use one shoestring for both sides. It comes out perfect to me. And I'm just going to cut that one. Love, love, love this cotton. Okay, so the only thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to fully comb it out because I do want it kind of thick, but I am just going to just a little bit like that because I have to touch it. If I don't, my OCD is going to be like, what? You just put that in there like that? And I'm just going to trim it just a little bit more because I do want it below the deck, but not all the way to the base of the deck. So I'm just going to trim it a little bit more like that. And then do the other side as well, just kind of eyeballing it. I can always take it out and redo it some more if I want to. Now the thing with this is, like I mentioned before, you do want to try to get your wicking right, and you do want to try to get your coil positioning right, because if you take it apart to actually change out your build or to re-wick, the glass will come apart and you will lose your e-liquid. So whenever you're doing that, you want to make sure that you try to, make sure that you've emptied out the glass, because if not, you will spill it everywhere. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and put our cotton right in there. Just tuck, tuck, tuck right into the... It's such a generous wicking channel. I absolutely love that it gives you a lot of room. That to me is just key in an RTA like this that has the floating deck. But you see how it fits in here? Now I'm not choking it. You don't want to choke it. You want it where you can at least put in one leg of your tweezers. If you can put in one or two legs of your tweezers without any problem, you're not going to be choking it off. And by choking it off, that means that the liquid's not going to be able to pass this little ring and get up to the coil. So you just don't want to choke it off. That is very, very important. And then take the other side, put that in there. And then of course, put this side in here and make sure it's nice and down. There we go. And we want it peeking through the bottom. We want to make sure there's absolutely no space that is actually showing. You want to make sure that you have all the spaces covered and that you can see your wick right there. And you can fan it out if you want to, that's not a problem. But you definitely want to be able to see it. Like this one here goes in a little bit. There we go. Okay, and no space wherever on the wicking channel. So as long as you do it something like this, you're gonna be fine. There will absolutely be no leaking. I'm a fan of RTAs. To me, it's like an RTA with a glass. I absolutely love it. So let's go ahead and juice this up and put this together so we don't take your day. And for today, I'm gonna be using my royal cheesecake. One of the reasons why I love this flavor or love this line that I made is because it does have minimal sweeteners in here. So I'm not gonna have to change my coils or my cotton for over a week, sometimes 2 to 3 weeks, because of my e-liquid. So I'm definitely going to be using my cheesecake. My royal cheesecake is one of my favorites out of my line. It's a vanilla cheesecake with dragon fruit. Amazing. There we go. I'm just putting some on the coil and then heating it up. That way we can get the cotton that is within the coil nice and saturated. There we go. All right. Alrighty. Okay, so you got that nice and saturated within the coil. Love this. All right, so nice and saturated. Let's go ahead and put this glass on here. What I'm doing is I'm taking off the top fill and I'm gonna go ahead and screw that in. I'm doing it opposite way, I know, but I wanna make sure that this is nice and tight on here so that way when I go to fill it, it's not gonna totally come apart. So I'm just gonna put that in there like this. I'm gonna grab my little tweezers. This is what I had to do while I was testing it out too, so I just want to make sure that it's not going to come loose. So I'm just gonna tighten it right there like that. And then that way when I go to take off this for filling, now I'm not going to loosen up the chamber. See? Okay, so that's my explanation. So let's go ahead and fill this baby up. Again, with the bubble glass, it does take 6 mils of e-liquid, which I love a big juice capacity, you know me, and an easy fill, 2 things that I absolutely love. So go ahead and fill that baby up. Okay, almost done. Okay, it almost feels like it has a bigger juice capacity. And then you're gonna go ahead and just put this on, quarter turn, and we're done. So that is the Blotto RTA by Dovpo and Vaping Bogan. So let's take it up. We'll have a vape, talk about it, pros and cons. Okay, so here we are up on top with the Blotto, there's the, I'm looking for the skull, there it is, with the Blotto RTA by Vaping Bogan and Dovpo. So let's go ahead and have a vape before anything else so I can show you how this thing works. Love, love, love the flavor on that. That is going to be number one for me, is going to be the flavor on this. It does have a restrictive vape though. So if you're looking for an airy vape type of RTA, this is not going to be it with the dual coils. Now, the reason why I say that is because with the single coil, it does open up that airflow and it makes it a lot more airy. With the dual coils, it's actually reducing the amount of airflow that's going through it because of the cotton and the coils and all that. So you're going to have a more restricted vape, especially being that it does have like that honeycomb type of airflow and they're really, really tiny. If the honeycomb airflow was just a little bit bigger holes, I think that you would have gotten more airflow. But as of the way that it's made now with the dual coils, you will have a restrictive vape. For a lot of people that do vape RTAs, I do understand that they like it a little bit more restrictive. So this would be probably really good for those of you that like that. For me, I like a more airy vape. So for me, the single coil works better for my likes, for my vaping style. I absolutely love the single coil. I actually put I keep saying actually, and I do apologize. I put a 4mm inner diameter fused Clapton in it, and it vaped absolutely beautifully, and it opened up that airflow for me. Even if you adjust it here, it's still going to be restrictive because the fact that it's got those tiny, tiny holes for the honeycomb airflow. Now, being that it does have that 242-degree type of airflow around your coils, you are getting really good flavor because it's hitting every single spot of the coils. So you're definitely getting really tremendous flavor from it, and I love that. Now, the only thing on this, it's not tricky to wick. All you have to do is just don't thin out your wicks. That's all you have to do. Make sure that you do have a little tiny bit of airspace in between, like I showed you, where your tweezer can go just in it, but it's not like taking up a whole, it's not too much space, but it's just enough to put it in there, just so that you have that capillary action of the juice going up the cotton and into your coils. You're going to be just fine. Just don't choke it. If you choke it, you're going to have a lot of problems. But if you lay it in there, just like I showed you, and you have it tight but not too tight, you're going to have a perfect vape. With the single coil, you do want to leave a lot more cotton. With the single coil, I actually used my Kendo vape cotton because the cotton, I can actually make it there I go with actually. I can make the thickness of the cotton a little bit thicker on the ends than I can with the shoestring because it's just the one diameter of the shoestring cotton. So with the single coil, I do tend to use a little bit more wicking because it's only one coil, not two. So that is one thing about that. But I do love it with the single coil. It's great with the dual coil. It is a more restrictive vape with the dual coil, but it is that. Okay, so those are my pros. Along with that pro, the quarter turn top fill, definite pro. 810 drip tips, it fits all my drip tips, another pro. And I love the way that they made that metal around the drip tip. Gives it a nice look to it. It makes it really, really stand out, and I like that. It does come with the Ultim on the black and the gunmetal, but it comes with the clear or the frosted type of drip tip with the stainless steel. I only did get the gunmetal, so I can't show you the variations of the color. Now, with the liquid, it still looks like an Ultim bubble, but it's not. This is the Ultim. This has the clear one in there, you can see. But it does kind of sort of make it look like the Ultim one with your e-liquid in it. But I love the looks of the bubble glass. I love the fact that they actually provided you two. So if you like Ultim, you can actually use this one and no problem at all. If you like glass, then you can use the glass bubble. They also have the straight glass. With the straight glass, it does only hold 2 mils of e-liquid, which for me is not good enough. I do like to have a lot of e-liquid capacity. I feel like it should have had like a 4 mil option maybe for the straight glass, and that would have been perfect. But I love the fact that you got 3 glass choices. For me, options are key, and you actually get that. Another pro I'm going to have to mention is the fact that they did provide you with that little skull tool, which is a bottle opener or a coil cutter. I do like the fact that they did include this. For me, I personally, like I said down below, I won't use it to cut my coils, but I will use it to open my bottles. So yeah, and I love the looks of it. So it's definitely part of my collectible items. So I love that. The airflow is good. We're going to go into the cons. The only thing about the airflow is I wish that the honeycomb holes were a little bit bigger. And that's because it is restricting it a lot when you have a dual coil. Being that they're really tiny, and then you've got the tiny holes around the coil, you've got it's losing space because you've got 2 coils in it, and you've got all that cotton in it. It doesn't have any room for the airflow to go through, so it is going to give you a restrictive vape. I want to just stress that to you. It's kind of restrictive like the Rebirth RTA, that type of restrictiveness. It's not bad. It gives it tremendous flavor, but I do want to mention that because I don't want you to think that it's a really airy vape, because it's really not, because of that restriction in there. Another pro I did forget to mention is the fact of the floating build deck. I love the floating build deck because of the fact that it treats it sort of like a little juice well, where it's gonna pull all that juice in and then constantly wet your wicks. So that to me is definitely a pro. I love that in an RTA, and this one is no different. Another one of the cons that is to me a huge con, and I'm really upset about it because I love RTAs so much. RTAs to me are life. I use them all the time to go to work, to run to the store, whatever. I love RTAs. RTAs I strictly use more in the house than I do outside of the house. Outside the house, I either use an RTA or a skunk device. And I love, the one reason why I love RTAs is the fact that you can open it up and change your coils or your cotton without losing any juice. You can just flip it upside down and do that. With this one, the way that they have the O-rings on here, or the way that it's holding in the glass, it's not holding it in. It's literally just staying in place. The O-rings are just there so that it gives it that connection and that leak proofness to it. Like, that's a word. But that to me is a huge con, because every time that I go to change my coils or my cotton, it's going to come apart. And that to me, I have to mention is a huge con. You guys know me. You know, those of you that have been watching me for a while, you know that I love RTAs, and that's always my biggest thing, is being able to do that. Another con is going to be the fact that with this quarter turn, which I really love the quarter turn, but with the quarter turn, sometimes the chamber will move with it. When the chamber moves, that means that the whole thing's going to disconnect, and you're going to literally have to take it apart to get it to tighten down again, to take off that top fill. So that to me is another con that I have to mention. Other than that, if they fix those 2 things, I want to say that this would be perfect. Absolutely perfect. I think that it would be one of the best RTAs to come out for 2019, in my honest opinion. I love the fact that you can use dual coils or you can use single coil. It would have perfected it. That even if it's just the glass that they fixed, you know, the O-rings, or adding an extra lip or something to keep that glass into place, that right there would have made it 100% one of my favorites for 2019. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say. I love the looks of it. I like that there's not too much logo going on. I love the fact that it has like this bottle cap design, and it makes it unique. It makes it different. You can't mistake this for another RTA. I absolutely love that part. The 242-degree airflow definitely enhances that flavor because it's hitting all of your coils. Absolutely great. Yeah, I hit everything. So that was everything that I wanted to mention on this. Again, very smooth vape, very nice, enjoyable vape. It is restrictive, like semi-restrictive. It's not like a pot or anything. It is semi-restrictive, but a lot of people really like that, other than having like the clouds bro clouds kind of airflow. It works. It really works for this RTA, and I absolutely love it. And if you want a little bit more airflow, just make it a single coil with a bigger diameter coil, and you're going to be fine to go if that's your thing. But yeah, so that's my review for the Blotto RTA by Dovpo and Vaping Bogan. So yeah, that's it, and I will see you in my next one. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you later.